In under 24 hours, these Warzone servers are going to be offline forever. And I'm serious when I say that because Warzone 3 is basically going away and we are not going to have this anymore. And since this Warzone is going away forever and so will your stats, here's a last view of my combat record I got for you guys right now. A 5.26 KD. My most kills in the game was 68. The most cash spent was 43,800. Of course, my top weapons are the Superior, HRM, and WSP9. Of course, there's all my wins and stuff down below. 14 days of playtime. And here's my top KD for my weapons, which that Socken MG38 is kind of ridiculous. And of course, the D tier and then the STG. And the reason Warzone 3 is going offline is because we're getting Warzone 4. With that being said, we have so much to go over about the new Warzone, which integrates everything Black Ops 6. So I'll make sure you guys are kept up to date. And the first thing being here is that there is a brand new Mastery camo for you guys that aren't really thinking about it too much. We of course have Gold Tiger as the first Mastery camo for Warzone. Of course, there's going to be King's Ransom, which is basically like the diamond for Warzone. We happen to have Catalyst. We happen to have Catalyst as our next sort of thing here in Warzone. And after that, for our final camo, we have Abyss, which is this is the first time ever in the history of Warzone that there's been a camo grind specifically for Warzone. And this is something that I find is unbelievably important right here, is that the movement, basically the new movement. If you guys have not been playing Black Ops 6 and you're primarily Warzone players, there is the Omni movement system from Black Ops 6, which is totally taking over everything that is in, Modern Warfare 3 Warzone right now. So that movement's gone out the window, and we're gonna have all the BO6 movement. So for any guys that have been used to it, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't like it initially. At first, I wasn't a big fan, but as soon as I started really playing with it, I really got accustomed to liking it a lot. And I went back and tried to play Warzone, and I was like, whoa, I feel like this game is real clunky now after playing with the BO6 movement. So it's going to be really good. But it does say, of course, the Omni movement, the movement and combat innovations from Black Ops 6 are fully integrated into Warzone. This allows players to sprint, slide, and dive in any direction, perform 180-degree combat dives, and execute advanced moves like combat supine and omni sprint for dynamic tactical play. Something I think that's actually pretty cool is that you can get unlimited attack sprint by holding your melee weapon. So if you guys want to be able to do that, that's a bit of a new thing, is that everyone's going to have by default a melee like a knife or something. So you will be able to have unlimited attack sprint just by holding that out. And of course, then you can pick back out your weapon or something like that, but you won't have a limited attack sprint. This is something to me right here that's actually huge, is the inventory system. So throughout basically Modern Warfare 2 Warzone and Modern Warfare 3 Warzone, there's been like a backpack style system where you've been able to store a bunch of things and have different slots. I haven't been the biggest fan of that. I thought it was just way too like cumbersome for a while. And actually, frankly, in Modern Warfare 2 Warzone, when it came out, it was just unbelievably like cumbersome. It was not fun. They're going back basically and reverting this to the OG Warzone thing where you have your primary, your secondary, you have your knife. Basically, you can see you have one thing you can pick up: your plates, your gas mask, your cash, and of course your ammo down below. It makes it very easy to be able to see really what's going on. For you guys that are wondering about the perk situation, since that will actually be changing, considering right now we have the ability to have basically 4 perks on our loadouts. You can pick, obviously whatever you want from the categories, and you can, I think it's like 2 from the first tier, 1 from the second, 1 from the third. I don't know off the top of my head. I just not thinking about it too much, but we're actually moving over to a 3 perk system. And of course, there will actually be lootable perks on the ground, which is really nice, considering we really haven't had that much, basically short of specialist bonus, which is actually still going to be in Warzone. You'll just be able to pick up perks by themselves, and of course then be able to get your 3 perk loadout, which will be pretty awesome. And here's sort of like kind of like a brief overview of some of the perks we happen to have. I'm not going to go talk about all of these in detail. It doesn't really make sense for me to be able to do so. I just kind of want to go over a brief little scroll, because we have our slot 1, we have our slot 2, and a lot of the perks themselves will be changing, considering you can tell a lot of these don't really look the same. Quartermaster, Bomb Squad, Tracker. I mean, Tracker is kind of similar, of course, Sprinter, then there's Cold-Blooded and Quick Fix. Quick Fix we've had, and there are other perks that do look similar, like Gung Ho and Resolute and Ghost and stuff like that, and Bird's Eye and Tempered. There are other ones that they have added in and swapped out for other ones. So that's actually pretty cool. And I'm not exactly sure if these are the only 2 lootable perks right here, but Shrouded and Irradiated, I'm not sure if these were actually meant to be the only ones on the ground as of right now, but I assume if they are the only ones on the ground, they'll be adding more in, like, Quick Fix or Tempered or something like that. How we could basically way back in like Warzone 1, that was really awesome. I liked we could pick up a bunch of perks off the ground. That was super cool. This is something that I think is going to add a nice dynamic element to the game, the wild cards, because this will really alter your loadouts. And specifically, if you're looking right here, Overkill, equip 2 primary and secondary weapons. This was added into MW3 Warzone basically by default. So we didn't have to ever think about choosing a primary and a secondary. It was just kind of like he was you always had the ability to throw on a primary and a secondary, like you'd run, an AR or SMG and not have to think about anything else. But if you want to do something like, for instance, have primary gunfighter, which allows you to go from 5 attachments up to 8 attachments on one gun, you can't go ahead and run basically like a secondary SMG because you don't have overkill on. So there's a few of these things in here that you're gonna have to think about, and it's gonna make running 8 attachments on one gun kind of like a really cool redacted weapon. You may have to, let's say, put it on a different loadout or something like that, then go to the buy station and particularly like maybe buy that one separately and have your 5 attachment set up on something else. That could be a nice little way around it, but this is gonna add a nice element to how people build their loadouts, because you can have a really overpowered primary, but basically no secondary short of a pistol. So that's pretty cool. And now moving into some of like the weapons and stuff like that, this is actually really just sneakily thrown in here into this introduction of the weapons, considering a lot of the weapons in BO6 have no cons to them. Basically the attachments, they don't really do anything. So they've had to alter a few things, like that says the AS Val, for instance, has a base size of 20 rounds, but that's for multiplayer. But for Warzone, it's set to 30, so that way it's obviously more competitive. 20 rounds in a magazine is not competitive at all, and the first extended mag you got only brought it up to 30, so they definitely adjusted that. But something they threw in here that I think a lot of people are really gonna like is this down here. So it says, additionally, all bolt action snipers and pump action shotguns while aiming out sights from Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 6 will have a one-shot headshot potential within their respective max damage ranges. Additionally, in order to incentivize intentional aim, all shotguns will fire 5 pellets while ADSing versus 4 when fired from the hip. So that's absolutely huge. Basically all the snipers, short of like the Kar98, maybe it was like the MCPR with the explosive rounds on it, like a large majority of the snipers were not one-shot kills, and even the explosive rounds was like a delayed thing, or the, whatever they were. It's like you had to hit that one shot with the Kar98, and it's only up to 75 meters, and after that it's like, well, what other sniper do you use? Because all the ones from Modern Warfare 2 sucked, a lot of the ones from Modern Warfare 3 sucked. So at least now we will have access to all those both actions that will have their one-shot headshot kill potential within the range, which is huge. I think that brings sniping back in a major way. I'm not a huge sniper personally, but I know a lot of people out there enjoy running their snipers, and you haven't been able to do that for a while. And this is also another massive W right here. So this underneath the Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 weapons, because just going over this, a lot of people know that when a new, game gets added into Warzone, those like guns are always significantly better than the previous game. And it's like, it's a very big difference. Like you went from Modern Warfare 2 to, or not Modern Warfare 2, my bad, Modern Warfare 2019 to Cold War. The Cold War guns were just hands down, like leaps and bounds better than the Model for 2019 guns. And then when Vanguard got added in, a lot of those guns had 10 attachments, right? So it's like you're going 10 attachment guns to 5 attachment guns. And granted, some of them, Cold War guns still competed. It took a while for that to even get back into the meta. And then even some of the Modern Warfare ones were just super unbelievably niche, and they just largely got kind of kicked to the side. So with this right here, it says, a visual recoil reduction pass has been applied to Modern Warfare 2 weapons, enhancing their feel and control while shooting. And it also says barrel and stock attachments from Modern Warfare 2 have also had their penalties reduced. Additionally, a significant balancing pass has been completed for underbarrel and muzzle attachments for both Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. All cons have been removed from these attachments, meaning they now only provide stat boosts, with each subcategory of underbarrels and muzzles functioning identically except for cosmetic differences. Amp attachments in these slots, however, retain their unique functionality for balancing, or functionality and balancing. This is really nice just because it's going to allow these guns to actually compete, because every single gun like on Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 had like so many attachments that was like you got an increase in damage range and bullet velocity. You lost out on like 5 different things over in the other category. It was pretty ridiculous. And all the guns in Black Ops 6 have like an increase in damage range and bullet velocity, and you lose absolutely nothing. You get a no stock on one of your guns, and it gives you increased in mobility. You don't lose any recoil controls, which of course on Modern Warfare 3, everyone knows putting a no stock on any gun just led to the the recoil being increased by like 40%. So that's really nice that they're at least going to make some of these attachments better, so that way we don't have like such a disparity between, of course, all these guns. Obviously the Black Ops 6 guns are, in my opinion, are still going to be the best to use, just because that's how it is. It's the newest game that's in the game, so they want people to use all that stuff. But this is really nice here that they've actually done all this, made it so that they will at least be competitive. And for you guys that didn't see any of my stuff anywhere, and you're kind of wondering what the new weapons we're going to be getting, of course, because it's not just the integration, it's season 1, right? So season 1 does bring new guns. Of course, we happen to have the Craig C, which is basically the Craig 6 from Black Ops Cold War. We also happen to have the SOG, which is basically the SOG 9mm from Black Ops 4. Also, funny enough, this image is on Hacienda, which is a Black Ops 4 map, which is being brought into multiplayer. We happen to have the Siren 9mm, which is a fully automatic pistol, which looks like a lot like an SMG. So we'll see if that's actually busted or not. Then we also have the power drill here, and then there's some other, there's like a cleaver and something else like that, which will be getting added in mid-season, but they've only listed out these 4 weapons as of right now. And in case any of you guys want to see the overview of Area 99, this is actually really cool. I've been talking to a lot of people, and specifically I mentioned in one of my videos, I talked to Jay God about it, and he did say that the overall structure of Area 99, like the overall like size of the map, is very identical to Rebirth. So with it having basically the same player counts as Rebirth, and both, believe me, Rebirth and Area 99 will be here day 1. They'll just be in a rotation, so you don't have to be forced to play one or the other. It'll be kind of up to you what you want to play. I'll definitely hop into Area 99 and check it out. I'll be playing that probably a little bit more than Rebirth personally, just because it's a new map. I want to check it out. You know what I'm saying? I did that with Vondel when it was out. I really enjoyed playing it. I still actually enjoy Vondel. It's kind of sad that it's not going to be in the game, at least as of right now. Not sure if it's going away permanently, but Vondel is a great map. I'm not sure how many guys out there agree with me, but there's the general points of interest. Of course, there's like reactor, bunker, test site, mannequin assembly, cooling towers, Nuketown shipping, loading bay, warehouse, manufacturing, and pods. And just to confirm what I was talking about, of course, we happen to have Years Extend for you guys that play Big Map. This actually reverts back to the original version of Years Extend. It says the Big Map returns to its early days, featuring familiar landmarks from before the destruction of Popov Power Plant and the arrival of Atlas Superstore. I really thought Superstore and all those additions were cool, but they reverted all the way back to the original version of Years Extend from the beginning of MW3. And of course, like I said, Rebirth is going to be here. It'll be right there. And of course, you'll just have everything Black Ops 6 on Rebirth Island, which I think is a good thing that they're doing. They're keeping this in the game. They're not removing it at all and forcing people to play. Of course, Area 99, not that that's going to be a bad map. It's just I think they've learned from seasons and years past not to make people play something they don't want to play, because people are very stubborn. And one of the last things I feel like I should go over with you guys is that there is, of course, the progression here, which, I mean, that means that there is the prestige system. You have to be able to go over the prestige. Last thing I want to mention here is that there is the prestige system, right? So that means that that applies from Black Ops 6 multiplayer into Warzone. Of course, we had the seasonal prestiging, which meant that like you just got like your 55 levels, and then it just continuously went up and up and up. Whereas prestiging, like you go from 1 to 55, you hit prestige, go prestige 2, 3, 4, etc. up to 10. You can go to master, where if you prestige, you go all the way back down to level 1, which in difference comparison to the seasonal leveling, you actually do kind of have all your guns relocked. So you have to level back up to unlock some stuff. So just kind of take that, you know, and have that in the back of your mind when you're leveling up, that if you prestige, you won't be able to use, like, for instance, your AS Valve, that's your last level unlock, unless you use a prestige token on it until you get back up to like level 54, 55. So just kind of be aware of that when you are prestiging. I still want to get to master prestige myself, but I'm going to get to about the last end of 3rd prestige right now, and I'm just going to hold out right there so that way I have all my guns for when the game, you know, for when this update goes live. And that's going to be that, and then I'll hold out in prestiging, and then I'll jump in and start doing more of that as soon as I figure out how everything works for me personally, because it's a little bit up in the air on how fast you're going to be able to rank up and stuff like that. But this is really all I wanted to go over. I wanted to just show you guys that, like, this is everything you should be expecting. I mean, of course, you can see down the side here, I mean, there's so much stuff. You can, if you want to check it out for yourselves, this is a Call of Duty blog. I can link it down in the description below for you guys that want to check it out. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and give it a like, subscribe as notifications turned on. Check out this other video on screen, and make sure you guys stay tuned for everything Black Ops 6 Warzone related, because I'll have so much content coming out for you guys here in the future. I'll see you guys next time.